Born in the little village of Hartswater and subsequently moving to Knysna and then Cape Town, Port Elizabeth-based trainer Yvette Bremner has now been involved in the sport of thoroughbred horse racing since shortly after having finished school. During the course of this program, she'll tell you a little bit about who she started with, who she went along for the ride with, and how she eventually became a fully fledged licensed trainer in an essentially male-dominated world. She has the backing of some of the really prominent owners of South Africa, who are too numerous to mention. But she has trained the Horse of the Year in Port Elizabeth in the son of Victory Moon, Blaze of Fire, who we'll talk about in due course. Riding her own work is certainly one of her great specialities. And Carl Hewitson has played a significant role in recent times, along with a whole host of eager, passionate and committed young girls, many of whom have gone on to make their own name as independent trainers in their own right. We've just arrived at the stable of Yvette Bremner, who's been a licensed thoroughbred horse trainer since 2002. And we've come to find out exactly how she started this fantastic profession, who she started with, who she's been with along the way, and what her dreams and goals and aspirations are all about. Yvette, thanks very much for giving us the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better in this environment. It's a very hard business, I know, and you started off with some really special people, not least of all the legend Stanley Greef.
Yes, I started off with him just after I left school, and I spent a year in Cape Town, and then one of my dad's friends, that was a lady that owned horses with the late Stanley Greef, she actually got me the job with him, and I don't think anyone thought I was going to last. I think the longest, they were all taking bets, and the longest they gave me was two months. And 8 years later, I was still there. So it was a joke that we all shared. From Mr. Greef, I went to Mr. Coetzee. I just filled in for Tracy Willard when she went on holiday, and the 2 weeks became 4 years. So we had a very, very good relationship. I think Mr. Coetzee's yard grew to 2.5 barns, and he'd only started off with one then, so it was very, very good. We were a good team. And then I got offered a satellite job with Paul Lafferty, and then I ended up doing that with him.
So that was at Arlington?
Yeah, and then I had to move to Arlington because all my experience had been at Fairview, and Mr. Coetzee was lovely because he did say to me, I must take a chance and do it, and if it didn't work, I could always come back to him. And it's always nice to know that you've got that cushion and someone's giving you an opportunity to progress, but if you didn't make it, you could always come back. We all know Paul, he's good fun, good laugh, very, very easy man to work for. He really gave me
free rein.
Yeah, I could do what I thought was right in the yard, and I have to be thankful because he actually sent Manfred Rower down to come and vet our horses, and I must say I've learned so much from Manfred, probably more from him than anyone else that I've ever worked with. And still we learn. He still flies down to PE to come and treat our horses, and we all learn every day. I think of all the assistants that I've had and how much they've learned from him as well. So yeah, it's been a good trip. Hey, put your lip away.
It's funny. Let's talk about this fella quickly, because he's obviously wants to be chatted about. He doesn't want to be ignored, and I know we've got lots of things to talk about, but who is he and what's his claim to fame?
This is Oriental Tiger, bred by Ascot Stud. I have to thank Headley probably, because he went to Ascot, and since he's bought Copper Braid and owned him, he's always been a bit of a lecture fan, and so I've become one since I've trained Copper. I enjoy them, they're lovely horses, and I must say they've picked up a little gem in this one. He's owned with Bron van Heestian, was a really, really super guy. Never mind being a good owner, he's really a fantastic person. Anyway, so the two of them own him, and he's done really well. He won his first start, and then we took a chance, big gamble, took him to Durban for the Grade 2, and he ran second in it, so we were very chuffed with him.
You've never been afraid to travel. I mean, probably one of the most travelled horses in South Africa is Blaze of Fire. He's been to every single corner of this country and still going strong, and I believe that you've even given him a chance to now cover a few mares.
Well, one of his owners is keen to breed with him. He's got a very, very good page, and I'd probably go as far as to say if he was a sounder horse, he probably would have done even better. maybe picked up a grade 2. And he's run behind good horses, you know, so I think...
Jackson.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, amazing performance at
yes,
Global that day.
And he ran second to the Coxos that went to Dubai and won there, so that was also very good. And yeah, I think he deserves a chance. And his Victory Moon, who I think died way too early. I think he would have been a fantastic stallion. And yeah, and he's out of a good dam line as well.
And he was Horse of the Year?
Yes, he was Horse of the Year.
Great looking horse and incredible demeanour for a stallion. I mean, I believe that Mr. Peskin's daughter actually rides him. The fact that he's a horse is merely incidental.
Exactly. Yeah, we never had a reason to geld him. That's why he stayed a colt all his life, because he was just such a pleasure. Yeah, he was a real gentleman. Even around the fillies, he was a gentleman.
Well, the funny thing about this particular program is that it's celebrating Women's Day and Women's Month. And you've always had a very large complement of girls in your yard that have got that obvious femininity and that gentle touch that horses so desperately crave for.
I think it does go a long way. And yes, I've had Abby. She was very good with horses. Unfortunately, she didn't carry on with her career in horses. She emigrated to London. Then Lizanne worked for me. She's a successful trainer now. I think she's done very, very well with...
Ambitious, eh?
Very small yard, yes. So I really hope things improve for her as well. And then Barbara's got a job with Dean Kahneman, and he had nothing but good things to say about her when I met him in Joburg.
Well, he has had the most incredible season. I mean, they started like a skyrocket and they finished with a bang as well. It really, really... And to see that glow on her face was very, very heartwarming, because I know she comes from a small little town like Port Elizabeth, but it's a very, very important centre nevertheless.
Well, when I moved to PE, I thought I'd be here for 2 years and then I'd move on, and I'm still here. It's a really, really laid-back, nice town, city to live in. I think you have all your pros and definitely less cons than the bigger cities have.
It got to a stage in your life where you'd achieved a lot of very special things training for Paul. I mean, you knew the territory really, really well, and you say that he gave you free rein. That was clearly evident. He must be an incredibly easy person to work with, even though he's very ambitious. I'm sure he has great respect for all the years of accumulated knowledge that you had from Mr. Kutsia and Mr. Greer.
Yes. Well, I think that's why we also made a good team. He would just pop up and give us some advice about small things. We'd discuss things, and he always... I don't want to say valued my opinion, but it was good enough for him, so that helped. And it just made it for a really easy working environment, and I think we did very well. The time did come when he offered me the yard, and I was very apprehensive about taking the job. But then I had people like Mike Jocock and Jay Ramsden and Alec Laird. They all did offer to help, and they said they'd support me and send me horses and owners, which they did. So I'm truly thankful to them. Mike sent me some really good horses, yes. They weren't particularly sound because they were old and they'd come to the end of their career. But there's no substitute for talent. They had it. It just had to be rekindled and their little problems sorted out, and they did really well. Wakara is still with me. He retired with me. And yeah, unfortunately, Jackie Mason, he did die. But he had a very happy life. He ended up just staying on a farm in the country. He used to go for forest rides, out rides.
Well, it was while you were at Arlington that you achieved the very, very rare feat of training the entire jackpot.
Yes, it was. I don't know, I never ever think of things like that. I just want all my horses to go out and win and do the best. And I don't really want them to go to races if they're not capable of winning. There are times when you need to run a horse in a race to get them that extra bit fitter, because you can grasp.
A bigger plan in mind.
Yeah, you can gallop them as much as you want, but it's not the same as a race. Yeah. And some horses just need that. Other horses run fresh. You don't even take them to the grass, and you just let them go for a run. Eldon Kamark is one of those horses. He's just when you step straight out into a race and he'll give you his best. But other horses, they definitely need that blowout to bring them on. They really need to be exerting themselves, which they only do in a race.
I'm sure, having read many a book about a veteran horse breeder, horse owner, horse trainer, you never ever stop learning in this business. And You know, surely every single day becomes more vibrant to you as you have this thirst for knowledge.
I think that's, if you have that, if you're in that frame of mind that you can never stop learning, I think you'll go a long way. It's people that think that they do know it all that don't benefit. They'll become stagnant.
You've obviously had a whole myriad of different owners because it used to be the thing that smaller trainers couldn't be fussy. You know, it was only the big trainers that got the Becks and the Jaffes and the Oppenheimers of the older brigade. And, you know, more recently, of course, it's been Marcus and Ingrid Jooster. I shouldn't really even start mentioning names because I'm going to leave somebody out.
Yeah.
But it must be very hard to manage all these different personalities, the grooms, the horses, the jockeys. It's a multicolored rainbow of emotions and attributes.
Yeah, if you sum it up like that, then it is very difficult, but I just take each one as they are. I think if you just explain, most owners are, a lot of them, I will say most, I wouldn't say all of them, but most of them have the horses' welfare at heart. And if you just explain where you're coming from and they understand what you're getting at, then they're agreeable to most things that you suggest.
Well, you had some new owners over here this morning that have got 3 or 4 horses in training, and it must be a delight to start off with people that are almost green and fresh, that you can train them your way rather than somebody that's been passed on, that's disenchanted with another yard, which inevitably does happen.
Yes. To me, I think it's wonderful because I've been around racing so long now. So when you do see someone come to racing and they're so excited and you hear that they couldn't go to sleep the night before because they're so excited about coming to see their new horse that they've just bought, that's lovely. It's really good for racing, and it's encouraging because you always hear racing is going to be a dying industry and people always speak negatively, but they don't get to see, like you witnessed this morning, a new owner coming to the yard and seeing their horse.
It really is very unfair to try and encapsulate the life of Yvette Bremner into such a short program. But we can assure you that on Turf Talk, we'll be taking this matter further. We'll put the lid on it by telling you that success should be measured by happiness. You should live your life to the full. And if you accomplish this and you are happy, then you have succeeded.